Blessed Adenton. So I am here to discuss for our lessons this week. So since that we experience this pandemic, we don't have any choice to have a distance learning this school year. So I hope that you put an extra mile of patience and understanding about our situation. Okay, so our subject is purposive communication. So purposive communication is very important or vital. Why? So imagine having a conversation is useless without purpose. So that's why we are here to learn and to acquire knowledge in purposive communication. Take note that effective communication is vital for success. As someone believe that people will forget you but not your purposive words. In that contrary, for a tongue has no balls, but it can break your heart. Okay, so moving on, I know that this purposive communication is a cliche for all of you, since that it was discussed in your senior high year with a descriptive title oral communication, right? So I think it is just some sort of review and a refresher discussion. Okay, so let's start. Our topic is ethics in communication, the processes, the seven C's, modes of communication, and the major types of communication. So today's agenda, we are going to identify and explain the different ethics in communication and apply these ethics in real life situations. So what do we mean by ethics in communication? So in communication, ethics is considerably important because it would likely guide everyone to effective communication. So ethics is defined as a set of rules or guidelines. So these are theories as to which is right or wrong. So when we say ethics, it is analyzing what is right and wrong, what is good and bad. While communication, it is a process of sending and receiving messages through verbal or nonverbal means. So therefore, ethics of communication is how one's behavior governed by one's moral affecting the communication. So that's what mean by ethics in communication. So we have ethics that followed by seven C's. First one, we have completeness. So message must be complete and be based on facts. Why? Each message should be complete because it brings desirable result to provide all necessary information. So sometimes when we communicate, we give something extra when desirable. So right. So next, concreteness. So concreteness is all about clear message and by factual material such as research data and figures. So we have to be specific and relevant communicating concretely. It means that we need to be definite and we always use specific facts and figures. So third, which is courtesy. So use of terms that show respect for the receiver contribute towards effective communication. So when we say courtesy, it is being humble and polite. Okay, it always answer promptly. It use expressions that shows respect when talking and of course, be sincere, tactful, thoughtful, and appreciative. Okay, so number four, correctness. So grammatical errors must be avoided, and stylistic lapses or a wrong use of verbs are not sufficient either in verbal communication. So when we say correctness, we need to use the correct level of language, include only words and figures. There should be proper grammar, punctuation, and spelling. So that's what correctness means. Okay, next, number 5, clarity. Clear or plain language is characterized by explicitness, short sentences, and concrete words. When we say clarity, the purpose should be clear. Proper punctuation makes the writing clear. Also, it is important to choose precise, familiar words, construct effective sentences and paragraph. So that's it. It should be precise. Okay. So number 6, consideration. So communicating with the target group consideration. In order to communicate well, it is important to relate to the target group and be involved. Okay, so class, to think and view from others, focus on you instead of I and we. Show audience benefit. So that's it. Be considerate at all times. So last, we have conciseness. A message is clear when the storyline is consistent and when this does not contain any inconsistencies. So conciseness means we need to eliminate wordy expressions, include only relevant materials, and avoid unnecessary repetition that would make your article boring or so tired for your eyes to read. Okay, so it should be concise but complete details. Okay, so let's proceed to the forms of communication. So during the learning engagements, you, the learners, are able to identify the various communication modes and explain how they help in expressing one's communicative intent. And number 2, use these communication modes appropriately depending on the context of communication situation. So now let's discuss the 3 common models of communication. So first, let's discuss the Aristotle model of communication. So this type of communication no longer requires the feedback of the audience, but rather on the delivery of the speaker. So hence, it is a speaker-centered model as a speaker plays an important role in communicating. So Aristotle's model of communication is also known as linear model of communication. Okay, so I will give you an example. So if I am running for president, I will create a campaign which I will have a speech. Okay, so if you are a student, you are the audience, for example. The occasion here is the setting, maybe a function hall or the audio-visual room. So the effect here, if I was won as, or if I won as a president, that really gives a big factor of how communication works to all of you as an audience. So that's effect. So that's Aristotle model of communication works. Okay? So that's it. That's so simple. Next, Shannon-Weaver model. So it is known as the mother of all communication models. The Shannon-Weaver model in 1949 depicts communication as a linear or one-way process consisting of 5 elements: a source, producer of message, a transmitter, a channel signals adapted for transmission, a receiver, decoder of message from the signal, and a destination. So this is how it works. So it starts with the sender, the information source, then there is an encoder who receives the message. So that's it, the transmitter. So it most likely that before it went to the receiver, there is a signal that is between the exchanging of message. So when you decode, so this is the signal or the noise source. So when you decode a message, there is now a process of understanding the content and creates feedback the message where it came from. So this is now the destination or the feedback going to the information source again. So that's Shannon Weaver model works. Okay, so this the noise source is most likely the signal through exchanging of message. So that's it. So next is the SRAM model. So there is a collaborative exchange of messages between communicators with the aim of understanding each other. It also shows that a barrier such as a noise may interfere with the flow of communication. So there is a big similar to the Shannon-Weaver model for the Schramm model. So the difference of this is the field of experience of both communicators. So there are difference of exchanging of information between the field of experience, maybe field of experience talking teacher from a parent or a teacher from the student, teacher from principal. So there are lots of field of experience that it may be vary of exchanging of information. Okay, so let's proceed to the types of communication. So first, let's discuss intrapersonal. So this refers to communication that centers on one person where the speaker acts both as a sender and the receiver of the message. So example, you spent the night thinking and analyzing why a student from the other class talked to you on the way home and you decided it probably meant nothing. So when we say intrapersonal, you communicate with yourself, right? So do you really ask yourself why you do this and that? You debate with yourself about something, daydreaming about your crush or your problems for this online class and other things that you and yourself did communication. So that's interpersonal. Okay? So you're talking with yourself. You and yourself are the communicator or the sender of the information. Okay, so let's proceed for the interpersonal. So what's the difference between intrapersonal and interpersonal? So this refers to communication that centers on one person where the speaker acts both as a sender and the receiver of message. I think there is a wrong for my presentation. So uh, the definition is same as in the interpersonal. So when we say interpersonal, it is a second person communication. Okay? It is a second person communication. So let's focus here on the illustration given in the slide. But not really means of communicating needs in relationship to have this. So even a person you've just met belongs to interpersonal as long as you are both communicating. So that's it. Both of you. So you have this and you have these friends. So you have that second person communication while the interpersonal is you yourself only. Okay, one to one is to one. Okay, so that's a difference. So next, the types of interpersonal, we have the communication, communication that occurs between two people. Okay, So types of another types of interpersonal, we have small group. This refers to communication that involves at least 3 but not more than 12 people engaging in a face-to-face interaction to achieve a desired goal. So small group, it is working towards other people with collaboration. So next, public communication. So this type refers to communication that requires you to deliver or send the message before or in front of a group. So it is a communication between one person to many people in a face-to-face environment. So remember that sometimes you are just the sender of the message and the audience is just the receiver of your content. Okay, so mass communication. So this refers to communication that takes place through television, radio, newspapers, magazines, books, billboards, internet, and other types of media. So this communication involves technology that will send to many people through channels and other means of communication. So that's it. So the next topic, I have video that is taken from YouTube. So please take time to watch it about the major types of communication. So I will upload it in Pocket Study. So please take time to watch it. So that's it. Thank you for listening. God bless everyone and keep learning. Laban lang. Assessment will be posted in our group chat. Thank you.